What's up, everyone? Good evening. Happy Sunday. Hope you're having a great weekend. It's quite sunny in the UK this weekend, so it's nice. Let's take a look at the market. All right, so it was after the events from Monday, the big sell-off, it was a quiet week, and it was kind of expected because, again, we noticed that there were no news in the US, anything relevant that could affect the market, neither in Europe or UK, for that matter. So it was okay. It was just a price retracing a little bit after the big sell-off that happened on Friday, and then Monday morning, as we all know. Right, so now we are going to get busy again. We are going to have CPI data being announced this week, PPI, and also retail sales. In the UK, it's going to be quite a busy week as well. We have unemployment, CPI, retail sales as well. So it's going to be quite an interesting week. It starts straight away already on Tuesday with unemployment in the UK. Then on Wednesday, CPI in the UK, CPI in the US. Then on Thursday, we have GDP in the UK, unemployment in Australia. And then you have retail sales on Thursday as well in the US, and then retail sales on Friday in the UK, right? So it's going to be interesting, and the main reason is because at this point the market is literally pricing. The big question now is in terms of how big the rate cut is going to be in September, right? It's going to be 25 basis points or 50 basis points. It's 50-50 at this point. On Monday it was already 50 basis points priced in, but then price kind of adjusted a little bit, and then until the end of the year we are even looking for price to cut rates, or to cut at least 1 full percent in interest rate. At least at this point, that's where the odds are, and with the chance to even go a little bit more than that, or slightly below that, right? There's a between 1.25 and between 75 basis points. That's what we are looking in here for the rate cut. But most importantly, because as you know, during all this most recent years, for the last couple of years, CPI has played a big role on in the market. And all this situation that was going on since last week may have changed a little bit in terms of the importance of the CPI. Because honestly, at this point, I don't think, regardless of if it is a good CPI or bad CPI, I don't think that's going to have any change on the market's perspective on what the Fed is going to do in September, which downplays a little bit the importance of the CPI from now on. It's going to be interesting just to pay attention to it, but it's something that you can be aware of. So we may not have such an important reaction when you do have the CPI data coming out, and that may be a new reality that you'll see. Now, this is just me already running ahead and being aware that maybe that's the case, but of course I need the confirmation of the market, and I need to actually see that the CPI may start playing a little bit of a less important role based on what the market usually has been looking for. With that being said, looking at the dollar, right? So we did mention that price reacted from a nice level on Monday. Since then, price has been just retracing, and we are within this range, right? That's basically where we are going to be looking at. We do have this structure here as a level to pay attention to see if price can react from there. It's already fake out that high in there with that move. We do have this demand zone as well. Price basically reacted a little bit from it, but now it's compressing. So we'll see if these lows actually hold price. If you start breaking below that level, I think price can start opening the door, at least to get closer to something in here. I think he can feel the space, and he can already target this low. And after that, we are going to be looking for the dollar index to go somewhere in there. And as I mentioned as well, we do still have this demand zone at the lows in here, which means that price at this point can still respect the lows and eventually go higher from here. Again, the lows are reacting from a good level on the left side. Personally, in the bigger picture, I do still think that dollar still wants to go slightly lower, I think the dollar wants to eventually fill all this compression here, and which means that going below that low. But for now, price can literally range within here, which means that if price by any chance does want to go already below, like to the downside, since we actually broke slightly that high without reacting from there, we can actually react from this demand zone, and price can actually make a move like this, creating kind of a double bottom at this level. So this is something just to bear in mind on the dollar, something that I'll be paying attention to. If price does want to come to the downside or kind of move and get closer to these lows even before getting closer to that next level, which is either somewhere in there, or you do have also that bell support resistance in there. So that's what we have on the dollar. We'll see how price is going to open on Monday. Again, key levels just to pay attention, like these lows. Is price going to respect them, or price is going to break them? If it breaks them, then I'm looking for price to get below that level. That's the first initial zone that I want to see price fill, and then we may have a reaction from somewhere in here. Either goes all the way to test the lows, or we can have straight away reaction, and you can try to go higher from there and eventually target this level in there. If price by any chance, for example, does take this low in here and actually has a deep retracement towards this level, that can actually be an interesting zone to look for a sell. And again, still targeting this level, and which means that then we are going to be targeting somewhere in here in reality. So that can also happen. Otherwise, again, as I mentioned, potential can go into that zone. That's more on the dollar. In here, we'll see if you do continue to resume the move to downside, or we start challenging a bit more these highs in there. So that's dollar index. Next, we go into the indices, which is quite similar as well. Just maybe the only difference is that we had this move down in here, which already reacted from it, or from this level. Dollar index didn't really, dollar index didn't really reacted from, or didn't really have such a deep retracement in here. As you can see, price will just move to the upside without this big retest. So the indices already reacted from this level in here, right? So that's basically what we're looking for. Basically, it was initially the same level that I mentioned in here. Basically, we have below this low all the way until there. Price already made that move, already fake out that level, and it's already moving higher, with the expectation maybe for price to get somewhere in there on the S&P. Right, so that's something to bear in mind. Again, the S&P reacts from a good level. Yes, there it can still continue to move a little bit more to downside, and yes, this is the range that we are looking in here, with this zone in there in the middle that can hold price to the downside as well. So that's what we'll be looking for. Price actually moved high. I need to delete this. Okay, 1 second. All right, a second. Again, those are drawings from another video that I'm making. So, all right. S&P, in my opinion, I still like that level, so that can be one of the levels that we could eventually see price going towards to. We have a little bit of the structure, a little bit of connection there. That may be a fresh level. If there's anything in here, it may be actually in there. Price got really close to it in this time frame, and then you do have that level slightly higher. So that's a little bit of what we have. Otherwise, price, if it starts breaking above these levels, then price can easily just continue to move even higher from there. In terms of the PA, we have already saw that reaction a little bit from this level. That's fine. And then we have this level here that managed to hold price. So if price starts breaking below that level, we can look for this, for price to go towards there, and eventually can even continue depending on where actually the highs are going to be reacting from, because that can actually be eventually the turn, and maybe price can resume the move to the downside, right? So we'll see. It's so far a good recovery after, again, what happened last week, and then specifically on Monday as well, that made a big push down, react perfectly from that level. NASDAQ, same thing, right? So NASDAQ was even a bit deeper into that level. It also filled out this compression, and it came really close to this next level in here. It actually left a little bit of space still in there, so that's something to bear in mind. Price is already reacting a little bit from that level, and the zone that I was still looking for is a bit more in here. So we'll see how price may react from that level. Otherwise, we can go even higher and start targeting a little bit more to the upside in here on on us, right? So basically also the earnings seasons, I think it's basically finished. So that's over as well. In general, it was kind of okay results. Of course, some concerns here and there in some tech companies as well. But in general, it was still not that bad, the results overall in the US. So that still shows resilience into basically in the economy. So yes, we'll see what's going to happen around this level. Again, I'm looking to see how price may react from here. Again, price reacted exactly from the extreme, so it didn't really open any more space to downside. So that was something that we looked at. But overall, in the bigger picture, we may still be a little bit more bearish. But in terms of space, and if you actually respect that what price wants to do is actually fill spaces, basically price did that with this move to downside, reacting from that level. So that's done. So we'll see now. We need more PI to eventually start turning in and to actually confirm that price does even want to create new lows. Yeah, we need a lot of confirmation before that. Dow Jones as well kind of reacted nicely from these lows in here. It could still go a little bit more to the downside. All right, there's maybe a little bit more space in there for Dow Jones comparing with the S&P, with NASDAQ, for example. And we'll see. Now price may actually go slightly higher as well, and we'll see what's going to happen in here. So with respect to these lows, yeah, why not? Let's see if it creates some kind of PI in here. Again, I wanted to see price just maybe getting a little bit higher before looking for anything else. And DAX as well reacted really nicely from that structure. Again, I can still see price moving slightly lower, maybe getting a little bit more into this level, but it reacted perfectly from the upper edge of this level in here, and that's always a good level to see price react from. So then after that, we're going to be looking for price again a very bit around this support resistance level, or then we are going to go back into that zone as well in there. And you can even see Nikkei as well kind of reacted nicely from this demand zone. So perfect, like that big drop that happened on Monday. It was a great reaction from a demand zone in here. And now let's see what's going to happen also with this basically upper channel that we have in here. Yeah, displaying around this level. So we'll see again, whenever price gets there, something to bear in mind. Perhaps it can continue to push further down. We have also crypto. So Bitcoin reacted perfectly also from this upper edge that we have in there at around 50k, like 49 something. And since then has been recovering as well to the upside. And yeah, just curious to see how price may react once again from around this level. So that's the next level in here. So but good recovery, and maybe going to be ranging a little bit from this level. We'll see what's going to happen. But not a bad reaction again from where it reacted from there on the left side. So it was not bad. Again, there are maybe some levels in here, and maybe look for something in there on BTC. And then of course even the other one that it still missed in there. And then if you start creating some kind of PI, basically breaking, first of all, we may need to go eventually to start breaking below these levels again. Yeah, we'll see what kind of PI we're going to create around this level in here on BTC. Start breaking some lows, that's important if you want to actually see the turn. Otherwise, yeah, something like that could eventually happen. In here, Ethereum also recovering. Ethereum is moving slightly, it's not so bullish like BTC at this point. And you are still trading underneath this support resistance. So that's something to bear in mind. And you have this level of supply in there, which is basically where I'm going to be looking also for a potential reaction on the S&P. So it's reacting initially from, not S&P, Ethereum. It's reacting from this level in there. Start breaking some lows in here as well. So that's something to bear in mind, a little bit around the support resistance level, right, around this level in here, but you did manage to break below those lows. So that's already something to bear in mind, and you may have a little bit of a range. Basically, price still respected that high in there. So you may have even a little bit more of a range in here. Let's see if you do manage to break a new low, and then you can even go and fake out these highs, to be honest, in there, and then finally maybe push to the downside. Like again, similar to what happened with the indices. And what the dollar index hasn't done just yet is actually price fill this space immediately in there, reacting nicely from this level. And there's maybe another one in here that price can still use as well. So those are a few zones in there on the Ethereum to pay attention in here. Solana also with a nice recovery, nice move down. Sorry, nice move to the upside after that big sell-off. Again, where the price is reacting on the left side is an okay level. Yeah, still kind of respecting 12, even though we finally managed to break below these lows in there. So we'll see. Price is now approaching this upper edge, this lower edge in here of this higher time frame level, and is also reacting from the level of supply that was left behind in here. So that's basically where we are. So we'll see what kind of PA we are going to create in here, and the price does want to continue to, or start to go to the move to the downside again or not. You have this demand zone in there as well, so we'll see. We'll start actually already breaking slightly that low, basically takes us into this level as well. So we'll see around here what's going to happen on Savannah. With the potential basically to, we are in the middle, right? So basically we have all this range in here, so that's where we are at this point. Currency index, right? So we have Euro index, which carry on respecting that level, right? So that was something that we have been looking for, and price carry on respecting quite a few times. So as you can see in here, we did have this supply level that made this move to the downside. Price respected the lows, and now it retraced. Actually, it went up first, respected the demand zone, and now finally filled this price in here, and now it reacted one time, and it reacted another time. It started breaking a little bit of some lows in here, but of course another confirmation to be even the break of this one as well. So we'll see at the highs it starts to be too spiky. So basically all the orders may be close to be outtaken from there. So we'll see if there's maybe a little bit of a new zone in here get above this high, perhaps. But all of a sudden we can actually, if price does want to start moving to the upside, yeah, I'm not really sure if this level is going to hold price again. I think price eventually can just fake out all these, can not fake out, but basically break all these and start moving more to the upside in there. If it goes above this this structure in there. Otherwise, if it continues respecting here, then you're going to be challenging these lows one more time, and then you'll see if you do manage to break below those lows in there. And bigger picture, maybe that could still be the scenario on the Euro index, but again, respecting the price and what price is filling in here, price did manage to fill the price in here to the downside. So that's also done. And then you have the Yen index, which is a big one as well. So again, good reaction from that level on the left side. We talked about it. Good fresh supply zone in there in alignment with some other previous level support resistance. We managed to fake out that high. That's great to see in there. And now we are creating a little bit of PA at around this structure, right? And again, as I mentioned already last week, I could even see price creating some PA around this level. So even faking out this high and still respecting the same level in there on the left side. So that could still be a play in here, eventually for price to actually push lower. For that to happen, I would even prefer to see actually these lows in here, basically this level in there, to be taken, which opens the door for price to go slightly lower, and then price could actually start moving higher, and then it could create that potential PA, right? So that would be something to bear in mind. Eventually could fake out, as I mentioned, this high. Now price is compressing quite a lot as well, so this high in here just got already really close to that supply, so basically almost took the orders from there. So see, we do still have this level in here on the lower time frame. Yeah, we do have this level that price can still respect and push lower. But that's also something to bear in mind in here on the Yen index, and that can actually potentially be a good sell, which means that maybe can be a good long on the individual yen pairs. Now, I've been waiting all this time as well to see price faking out these lows, and in particular also that low in there into this level. Right, that's basically a zone that I've been waiting for. Price did manage to fake out that low, I think it was on Friday, but it didn't really manage to still fill that space in there. So we haven't really had that move, which can eventually happen as we mentioned. So we'll see. First and foremost, how price may react from here, and then from there. If it starts breaking that level, I think we can go lower. If it starts breaking above this level, then we can see price targeting, we're getting really closer to these highs, and we can even fake out the highs in my opinion and still play around this level and then move forward. But that's the Yen index. It's basically what I'll be looking for as well for this for this week. Just one last point about the yen pairs is that at this point the yen pairs have been super correlated. Okay, so basically how this moved to the downside, it meant that the yen pairs were actually moving to the upside in alignment. And I'm talking about the yen, pound yen, dollar yen, Aus yen, maybe CAD yen as well. So basically all the yen pairs. And maybe this week we are going to start seeing some kind of different moves in across those yen pairs. It may not just continue now to be a yen pen move, basically where the yen pairs control, or the yen is actually the currency that is controlling all the move. It may start being a bit different, which means that maybe you can have pound yen moving to the upside because of some news related to the pound in the UK, and we may have dollar yen moving to the other side. So that's just something to bear in mind in here for this week on the yen pairs. Now the individual currency pairs, like looking at the euro dollar. So we made all that moves. That was something that we've been waiting for price to actually fill out this price and go above this high, and after that it was a great reaction, right? Really close to that level, nice supply level in there on the overtime frame. Now I went with this basically left shoulders in here, so good reaction. Now question mark is this just a fake out and actually price is ready to do this, or this is actually an engulf and eventually we are going to be targeting more this structure in there? Okay, now personally I do think that it could be more of the second scenario of price actually breaking the highs and still wanting to go slightly higher. But you can be patient and you can wait to see actually if you do have that confirmation in here. So price did manage to break below that level. So at this point you can actually still look for price to move slightly lower and maybe can go into this level before actually going higher. That's something to bear in mind. Price may want to retest close to this level in here, since this low actually managed to break that low in there. And we will have maybe this level or even that level as a potential zone in here on the euro dollar to continue to push downside, or you can actually even have that one at the extreme at the highest that maybe still be fresh, and the price by any chance comes here, that's dollar index also going all the way to that extreme at the demand zone, right? So that's just something to bear in mind. Again, price at this point is still respecting the supply level, you can even go slightly there or in there. In here we are starting to break somehow some of the lows in here, so we'll see what's going to happen. But I could see now for the first, so bigger picture, that one may be an engulf down, but on a smaller time frame this may actually be an engulf lower. So we could actually have maybe price going first closer to something in here, and after that trying to push to the upside. So that's just something to bear in mind in here on the euro. We'll see. All right, but chance if price just wants to actually continue to move lower, and these levels in here don't really manage to hold price to the upside, then you're going to be adjust to that situation and you're also going to start targeting even below that low. So that's something to bear in mind in here as well on the euro dollar. Yeah, but that level is perfect. Again, we have been talking about so many times about these specific zones in here, and that's perfect. Bongani, man, what's up? How are you, man? Happy Sunday. Sunday. Yeah, so this is euro dollar in here, so we'll see which direction now it's going to go. Again, similar to dollar index, we are in the middle. There's maybe some opportunities in there, but you can let the market also tell us. Now pound dollar, that's a different one. Okay, pound dollar, I actually think that's going to be one of the main currency pairs that I'm going to follow this week. First of all, we do have all those news in the UK, which is going to be quite interesting. And secondly, we are actually reacting from an interesting level, getting really close to these lows. The approach has been quite aggressive in terms of a compression move in here, and I think we can be close to a turn. Now, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of these lows, to be honest, in terms of where they are already reacting on the left side. Eventually, could see even price breaking in here. And maybe that's going to happen actually this week. Either we kind of start moving upwards in there, or we're going to actually maybe finally break below this level and start to move towards something else in there. So that's going to be an interesting one. Yeah, man, I'm good as well. I'm good, enjoying the good weather in the UK this weekend, so that's perfect. So yeah, how's the weather, man? There it's South Africa, right? So in terms of the pound, now what do we have in here, right? So we started to create the pattern, right? So we have been waiting for price to actually fake out this above bottom. So that was something that we noticed, that price was not really managing to break the highs or to actually gain strength in here. Therefore, we start to wait just for price to break the bubble in there. Right? So again, around this move in here, we could see that price was not really managing to go to. Even didn't really make a move like the euro dollar did even last week. Therefore, we have been just waiting and patiently for price to actually take these lows, and price got, again, initially price was reacting from this upper edge in there, and now it's still reacting from something in here. But what we start having in here, it was actually basically the pattern that we are looking for as well, right? So once again, we start having a little bit of a range. Now we already took the lows, having a range, you start breaking that high in there, and then it was literally just being patient, and price end up making that final fake out. And since then, we could have started looking for longs in here. Again, we even start breaking a little bit the highs in here, even before that was pushed down. Double top, the double bottom as well being created in here at this case, and price went higher. Like, so that was one of the moves in here. And then after we do have this, again, zone 1 created, we get into a zone 2, right? In the zone 2, usually we are going to be looking for price to either retest something in here or also in there, right? Basically, we're testing the extremes of these levels in here. This apparently price managed to go all the way through, eventually managed to break this high, and now it reacted. I decided now to react from here. Like, you start creating this PA on Friday, price never really reacted from there. There is a good demand zone in there on the war time frame, and that's exactly where price reacted at this point. And they're looking for price to get closer to this level in here, to be honest. Now, if, in my opinion, if you do manage to break above that high, I think at least you can target this, if not even going higher from here, right? Because this is one of the last levels that is still fresh on the way down in here. Aside from that, almost every single basically supply level has been taken, and all of a sudden you can almost target everywhere, all the way until that one. We may have this one may be already reacted from that level. We have a little bit of this one, it's already even touched a little bit from that zone, but you can maybe have a reaction first from here, a little bit of a reaction, then price move down, then we may continue. So yes, personally, this is literally one of the last zones that is still fresh, and I'm really curious to see if prices break that level. I'm basically super bullish to see price going all the way until there. So that's what we'll be looking for, right? So you're saying that this is a head and shoulder, right? Yeah, it is kind of a head and shoulder indeed. Yeah. It's a beautiful pattern, a beautiful reversal pattern here that you can even anticipate even before all of this. But yeah, it starts to look like bullish in here. This for me is our zone 3 type of a move with full compression, which eventually can even target in there. And now we may have created basically the zone 4, zone 1 is basically the same. And now we are looking for a zone 2 type of a move in here that either confirms that price actually wants to turn, or doesn't really confirm that, and maybe price wants to go or in there. So I'm really curious about the dollar, about the pound dollar and many other pound pairs as well for this week, because I think they are overall in good levels. And secondly, we have those big news also this week. So definitely the pound is going to be something to pay attention to in here. Then you have euro pound, beautiful move as well. So we talked about that. Right, we talked about those highs in there. We talked about price creating that double top and then the fake out. Right, we talked about the supply level in there. Again, those highs never really reacted from it. And I'm talking about this high in here. Never really reacted from the supply level. We created this structure, and there you go. Another level where price started to create some manipulation here. Accumulating liquidity just above that. Start losing momentum. Start breaking lows again, and then all of a sudden we go up, break out slightly, break a new low in there, Then you have finally the final move, and now the move downside, right? So again, these levels, they are really good. Usually with the reaction, it tends to be actually something like this as well. What I mean is that the reaction tends to be quite quick as well, which is perfect, because then you're not going to be struggling in here in this kind of slow moves downside with a lot of retracements, which is perfect. So we talked about that as well last week. On the euro pound was one of the trades that we were mostly looking for last week, after price basically faking out this level, and you had a great move, and now we may be targeting a little bit below that, right? So we already may have taken this low as well. So if by any chance we continue now to see maybe pound dollar actually moving to the upside, we may have this euro pound moving lower. Something that we can still anticipate in here is that, for example, at the highs in here, I think there's still fresh orders. So if by any chance, if price actually wants to retrace all the way back closer to this level, I think we can even look for another sell from there. I think that's possible. Before that, we do have this structure in here as well. That price could and should kind of react a little bit as well, just to create a little bit of maybe a compression as price is moving upwards. So I'd like to see new low being taken. I'd like to see a new low being taken in here, and then price slowly start retracing until it gets closer to this level. We may have this level. Now, this one actually fake out slightly that high. So that's something to bear in mind. Maybe that's a sign that maybe you get closer, or you're getting closer to a deep retracement in here before eventually moving to downside. So we would like to see that, and price could start compressing a little bit, respect that level, something like that, and then you can even go slightly higher. And we do have these left shoulders as well in there. So that could be something to bear in mind in here. On the euro pound, again, we have plenty of news in the UK. So that's something to look for. And eventually you could target how this move in here and eventually get closer to this level. Yeah, so I do like that idea as well. So euro pound goes in alignment with the pound dollar as a potential and great move to look for this week. Aussie dollar, that's another one. So we start compressing as well to the upside. So we came all the way down in here with this spike, and now price is getting closer to something in here. So there you go. Yeah, basically price respected this structure in there. This may not be the final high. Maybe price still wants to go higher, but maybe we can start losing a bit of momentum. We may actually still miss a little bit of, or it's still missing in here, maybe the proper momentum to the upside to separate from this compression. But yeah, we'll see, right? So again, this move was quite aggressive, the way price fake out that low and it reversed, getting closer a bit to this structure in there. Yeah, which may have again a little bit of a reaction like it is right now, but then it can move forward. Yeah, we'll see. Like, we are reaching in the middle. There's not really much going on in here. Something that we can start tracking is that price is actually managing to break lows on the way up. So that's nice to see, because eventually that can lead into an interesting short, and maybe price can eventually target these lows in there. So that's some details that you can start paying attention to on the Aussie dollar. Even New Zealand, yeah, I'm looking for price to get slightly higher, so actually maybe to fill all this. We reacted from this previous level of support resistance in there. Nice reaction. Also, we do have this supply in there. Eventually, I would like it to see going closer to that level. So let it maybe compress a little bit more, and then eventually can go there a bit more quite aggressive, and maybe moving lower after that. So we'll see. So we'll see what's going to happen here on New Zealand. Now, the rest of the Aussie pairs, right? So I think I could still see it going a little bit more lower, but now we fake out this level as well. So this is an interesting one in here, because we did manage to start breaking some lows in there. We did make this huge move to the upside in there, faking out this level. So we are basically a little bit of at a key level in here to see if this Euro Aussie wants to start moving upwards after all this correction, or if by any chance price actually is now turning bearish and we're going to have this low being broken, which then starts opening the door more to the downside. So I'm curious to see how price may react from here. We start moving. Okay, we fake out already that low, but the way price moved in here is still with a lot of move. I would like to see maybe this low still being faked out one more time before challenging in there. We do have that level as well, and of course then you have the high, right? But this level in here can also be interesting on the Euro Aussie. So that's something to bear in mind in here. to see if you have a continuation to the upside or not. We can also look at where is it? Pound Aussie. Yeah, Pound Aussie, it's also reacting a little bit from this level. So that's nice. Eventually can even go there as well. So we'll see what's going to happen in there. So nice fake out also of those highs into that structure. Overall, yes, maybe can still go slightly higher, but maybe actually want to target these lows in here. So we'll see. We do have maybe that level, something in there to aim for on the Pound Aussie, eventually to look for a continuation. So we'll see. But good reaction from this level so far. Aussie yen. That's one of the first yen pairs, right? So yeah, I'm curious to see how price may react from a little bit more of this level. We are getting close to this previous level support resistance, and I'm curious to see how price may react from here. So that was basically the move that, or the origin that make all this move to downside after also taking all these lows. So I'm just curious to see how price may react from there. We are compressing a little bit. So we already reacted from this demand zone. Now you do have this level in there, which price may still respect and go, or you can even go below that level, faking out this low into here and challenge the highs again. And then I'm curious to see around this level. So that's the key level. I'd like to see price still faking out these highs one more time before even moving to downside. So that's a little bit on the Aussie yen. Euro, dollar yen, same thing. I don't like that level. I like that price is creating this structure just underneath it, and you are actually managing to break a little bit of some lows. But of course, this is the demand zone, and that's basically where price is reacting right now, which is a valid level. But yes, I do like the double top being created when you do have this queen level of supply just above that. That's perfect, right? That's one of those setups that we want to pay attention to whenever price gets there, to see if we do manage to break yeah, if you do manage to break or respect this supply in there, right? Basically faking out this double top and then after that into something like that. So that's definitely one to pay attention to, and eventually could try to challenge a little bit and get closer to that level. Again, the lows in general, dollar yen is reacting from a great level, right? So it reacted from a good level, which is perfect, and now it's approaching the first level on the higher time frame that actually made this move to downside. So that's a key level as well, and price can be ranging in between here for a little bit. So which means that price could just retrace a bit, maybe create a double bottom in here and challenge to go higher again after that. So that's definitely a level to pay attention to on dollar yen. If price breaks above that, then you are looking for price to go maybe slightly higher, and maybe that's the next zone in here where you want to see price moving towards. So Euro yen, similar. So actually this one still holds, this high in here is still holding price. We do have that demand zone in there as well. Price can maybe respect it and go higher. Personally, I would like to see this level being taken, and we could even go slightly higher in there and maybe even go somewhere in there, right? Now this level in here maybe still fresh. In here, perhaps maybe it's a level where Euro yen could go and react from. Yeah, this level in here still needs to be taken. Price hasn't really touched it yet. Yeah, otherwise price may just go all the way to the low. So again, similar, great reaction again, similar to dollar yen, great reaction from the lows. Price is reacting really nicely now and from here. So we'll see what's going to happen at around this structure. Otherwise, you go start looking even higher. But yeah, let's see how price may react from here. All right, so pound yen, that's another one that's going to be interesting, right? So, and this may be actually the difference now on the yen pairs. We may have this pound yen moving differently from the dollar yen, for example, and the euro yen may follow. But again, the low reacted perfectly from this demand zone. That's perfectly filled out this space in here. That's something that you wanted to see basically when price was moving to downside. So that's perfect. where it reacted, and now you do have a little bit of this structure. Price reacted with respect to that level. We may have this new zone in here, and what you can have is a little bit of price moving in this type of compression, maybe challenging or struggling to actually make proper highs and actually gain momentum, may create a new high and may just come back straight away. So price could either react a bit from this level, or it can even go higher and react from within here. All right, so that's also potential level in here on pound yen. Maybe can respect just from this level, start challenging a little bit more to the upside and getting somewhere in there, and potentially then moving to the downside from here. So that's something to bear in mind in here on pound yen. Yeah, this level in here may be still a little bit of a zone in there. It's already looked at level. Yeah, then we'll see. We'll see if price even has anything or not in here at the lows that can be used or not. If price does want to come back in here, or if you're going to actually eventually fake out this low into more of the, into more of this one in here. Yeah, so that can be also a potential zone in there. We do have that zone a little bit in here, and then we even have that zone in there on pound yen. Yeah, that can be interesting. Cut pairs, right? So that was another one that we've been waiting, and price finally did it. So great reaction on dollar CAD from that zone, and price starting to move to downside. So we still left that level behind. We're looking for price to take this low. That was a key point. And then we wanted to see price having a little bit more of a deep retracement closer to this level. Unfortunately, it was enough to fake out this level, and price moved forward after that. And then guess what? Good reaction from this previous level support resistance, and it moved to the downside, right? So it was another great example of price creating a little bit of a structure. It starts breaking a low, and then it fake out the highs, but because of these lows already being broken, or kind of this was already breaking the previous one there, it starts actually opening the door for a further move to downside, and that's exactly what you want to look for in here. Now, where price is reacting, right? So most of this is compressed. Maybe this is actually one of the last levels in here that was still fresh. This demand zone, and below that a lot of it is compressed, and yeah, maybe price can actually go all the way and eventually target this low in there. Now it could go a little bit in here to the upside. This was a zone actually that I was wondering, kind of considering actually looking for a long in here on the dollar CAD, because on the lower time frame we actually managed to break this high, and we then fake out the low, right? So that was something that I was considering, but I don't really like the level on the left, even though it's maybe one of the last demand zones within this level, but I don't really like it, and therefore I'm going to skip any opportunity in here to look for longs. Even though I could potentially see price just doing this and then maybe resuming down, I'm going to actually avoid that setup. But this is a nice break to the upside, something that you can track in there, or pay attention to, and you'll see. So eventually I would like it to go even somewhere in there, or we'll see how price may react somewhere in here to push lower. Or if you do have that deep retracement, then somewhere in there can also be interesting. Right, so those are just a few levels in here on our CAD, but nice review move. That was something, again, for the last few weeks we have mentioned that all this compression, that eventually price would reverse and fill it. EuroCAD, right? EuroCAD kind of similar. So we did make again, it was exactly the level that we mentioned, right? So we talked about these highs. We talked about this level, I think it was on the 28th of July for the first time, this level in here, right? So of price eventually faking out all these highs, getting into that fresh level in there. Again, it's quite similar to the euro pound move where price reacted from, where this high doesn't really react from it, and all of a sudden we have a great move. First target, it will be maybe the retest of this level, and then you are looking for the retest a little bit into this level in there. What we have even before that, right, is that we actually have price breaking some lows before even making this move in here. Kind of a typical zone 4 type of a move. Again, price still respect a little bit this level first, then you had fake out. Again, this level in here even left that zone behind, so by any chance if price does want to retrace to this level, there's potentially still some orders in there missing that can be collected. And aside from that, then price is compressing quite a lot as well. Keep respecting the highs, kind of new move to downside. Let's see how price may react from here. I would like maybe for price to actually go slightly lower at this point. Price already react from it, but you didn't really have the reaction that maybe it was necessary for price to start turning from here, which means that we may go actually fake out these lows at least in here, that zone, into something potentially move to the upside again. And don't forget that this is actually already basically break off this structure, which means that this can even go further down in there. Alright, so that's something to bear in mind on the EURUSD. Really good move so far in here. And then of course we have pound CAD, which similar to the pound dollar. Now we had again pound CAD, something that we predicted last 2-3 weeks. We are looking for the reversal. The reversal happened. Great reaction from that high. The pattern once again kind of start breaking structure, fake out that level, react from there, go all the way, retest this structure in here, and then you have this continuation there. Price initially respects that level, but then apparently still wanted to make another high and react from something in here, and it finally moved down. And then you finally have that separation between the zone 2 to the zone 3, which is this momentum phase. Price basically filling out this compression, and where is the target? As we mentioned, to be in here, right? Breaking below this low. This level already broke that structure, and you're looking for price to break below that low and close the gap in there. That's basically what happened in here on the pound CAD. So it's a beautiful move once again, where price reacts from. Again, you can anticipate this target as well. So good reaction. What we have on the approach, that's the next thing, right? So we start having this compression in here. Break lows, compress again, starts moving like this, and all of a sudden we start this compression. Like price is not really managing to go much further down. Anytime it breaks a low, she starts breaking some highs in here as well on the way down, and there you go. Like we have that level, fake out, break high, another move in here. So that was perfect. When did this happen? After price reacts perfectly from that level in there, and that's exactly what you want to look for in this particular case. Good reaction, price goes, and now we have basically these two levels in here behind. The price already reacted a little bit from this level as a potential trend continuation, but yeah, maybe price can still go somewhere in there, or even somewhere in here one more time, initially to be strong enough to hold price up. What we have also is that we managed to break these highs in here. The way price was moving to the downside, it was a bit in a compression when you're looking into the lower time frame. Yeah, price may actually go slightly. Yeah, it's actually a nice level in here where price is reacting, and then we may have that level. Yeah, so let's see if we do have a little bit of a, again, I would like to see potentially, since price actually respects this level, I'd like to see just one last high and then price just retracing into this level and somewhere in here to create that move. All right, price could definitely fake out this structure in here, this lows, and then potentially challenge that those highs as well, and filling all this space. Yeah, so that's something to bear in mind in here on pound CAD. Again, it's another pair with pound related, right? So we're going to have plenty of news to see which direction is going to go towards to. But at this point, what you have is euro pound reacting really nicely from those highs. We have pound dollar reacting really nicely from basically those lows. We have pound CAD also reacting really nicely from here. Is that a pound Aussie? Yeah, pound Aussie may go slightly lower first. That's the only thing that is off a little bit. But yeah, that's something that you want to pay attention to in terms of the pound pairs this week in here. Dollar franc Swiss, it's been quiet in here, a bit of that range. You can looking for price to get a little bit more closer to this level or that level, potentially to look for another short in here. Again, the low reacted perfectly from that level, so that is something also that we look for. Pick out that level in there, perfect. So the spice in here to the downside, it was done, checked, which is great. Since then, price starting to move to the upside again, break highs, we got lows, and it goes with it. Kept respecting this structure in there. Yeah, so again, nice compression. Price just do this. Yeah, I'm looking for price to get slightly higher at this point. So that's something to wait for. And then gold. All right, Bongani, are you still there? What's your take on gold? So what's your take on gold? What are you looking for? Right. Yeah, so basically gold now is within this range, right? So we have that double top at the all-time highs, and we also have price respecting these lows in here. Now, of course, if you look at the bigger picture, we may have still space that price can eventually go there or even in here. That's actually something that I like. The potential move in there, and we have that level. Basically, there are two levels in here that I like at this point. It's still maybe that extreme above that high, and then this level in here below these lows. So that's basically two levels, more a bit in the bigger picture. Meanwhile, price is just trading in between, right? So it's just within this range, which is what it is basically at this point. Price may still react a little bit from that level, could create some PI, and go there. It's compressing a little bit in here, can go there as well. Compressed in there. Not sure if there's anything still at the lows in there to look for. Price already reacted from it, basically already reacted from that level. Yep, created that KM. Price broke the high first, reacted from here. Perfect move. Goes, there's maybe something in there. This was may not have taken. Looks like price already went up, down, so already reacted from it, compressed. This was fresh, price reacted from it already. Bit compressed, price reacted from it already. Start breaking some lows in there, compression. Right, so looking at the upside, maybe you do have this level in there, but you may have definitely still that zone in there as well. So price could eventually slowly continue to push higher and go above this high twist. See there? Yep. Go maybe above that high. Okay. Yeah, perhaps. But the way price is moving to the upside is compressing quite a lot, which means that all of a sudden we could even have a move all the way closer to this level. Now price respect to this previous level in here, that's basically where also this level is respecting with this demand zone. So that could have been a good continuation setup, exactly what we want to look for as well. So we have all these walls in here to fake out with the clean demand zone, alignment to that level in here. So we could look for that long in there. Then again, price starting to break new highs, react from that level, basically what I already saw. Yeah, so somewhere in there. All this looks compressed quite a lot. There's a small zone in there, and that's basically it. Yeah, that's basically it. There's a resistance where price stops. Which resistance? You mean at the highs, or which time frame are you looking for? Which value? Which value? Right. Yeah, so that's a little bit of what we have on gold. You can trade it in between in here, and I'm going to be waiting more for the extremes. Silver does look a little bit better in here. Where this price stops. Don't you have a value? We cannot see like 2,450, 2,438. Where this price stops in here. Yeah, I'm not sure. Tell me the value, it's easier for me to check. Yeah, silver. Right, silver is turning, so it again similar. We had that alright. We had that break first to the upside, so price is still reacting from within this level. And then you had that fake out, and since then price is moving slightly more to the upside. Again, this may not still be the final level in here. Personally, I would like to actually see this low being taken and price getting a bit more into this next structure in there. So we'll see. But we start having a little bit of a reversal pattern in there. So good, interesting reaction at this point from there. Again, as I mentioned, price broke the highs first and then fake out the lows. And there you go. Like this is usually kind of a nice, interesting move. We'll see how price may react also from that level. And if there's anything in here still that maybe price can use. Maybe price already reacted for me, to be honest, on the way up. Yeah, maybe that's already done. But that's something to bear in mind, maybe from somewhere from here. And we may go all the way into that structure. Yeah, so yeah, we'll see. It's not exactly the same as gold. Silver is not, you can say it's the same, yeah, but in terms of PA at this point, it's completely different. Gold is stuck within the range. Silver is not stuck within the range. Silver is actually moving. Silver is actually breaking lows. It's actually moving. It's actually filling this space in here. It's a complete different type of price action that you can have on both of them at this point. The PA is much clean, in my opinion, at this point on silver than on gold, especially if you want to see price moving and not just ranging, and if you want to see price filling spaces. So that's a little bit of what we have at this point. So we'll see, first and foremost, somewhere in there can have some reaction, and let's see if we still even manage to break below those lows, getting a bit more into here or not. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Oil. Yeah, oil turned. So oil fake out this low in here, and since then it's been moving to the upside, so basically still respecting something in there. So we did manage to break below this low, and since then price moves higher. Again, we broke the low, but then we broke the high. That's usually kind of a good pattern to reverse. And you are at this key level now, right? Basically we have two key levels in here. It's this one and then that one above, where you can perhaps still see price reacting from, even though this looks like already quite used, to be honest, and price then could go higher. So I'm just curious to see how price may react from here. We are within this interesting compression. Again, just the same setup that we saw on pounds, same setup we saw on gold, same setup we now saw on oil, right? In terms of the continuation setup, we are looking for price to then react from this structure that is basically this previous high or that left shoulder as well. We are looking for a demand zone, we are looking for lows in there, we are looking for price to break highs and then retest, react from that level and just continue. Next we have this one on silver. We have that one on gold. We had that one on pounds. We have those. Like, again, of course, there are some differences in within those levels, but the levels are, but the pattern is the same. Oil, I want oil. So yeah, curious to see how price may react from there. We are compressing, so that's nice. Either price gains momentum and challenge that, or is actually going to respect something in here and it starts moving lower. We do have a little bit of a previous level support resistance in here. So just curious to see how price may react from here. Can even maybe just come back towards this level again, potentially then move higher. So we do need some of these walls to be broken for that to happen. Price is respecting them, so yeah, we do need at least some walls in here to break, especially that one. But before that, maybe something in here. Yeah, so yeah, oil may be actually an interesting pair as well to look for this week. To see if you do continue to range around this level. If it wants to even go higher after taking this level in here, and actually look also for a potential move. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Oil. We have Brent, which is doing something similar. So again, took that level, respected this level in here after breaking the walls on the left side. Getting a bit in here. Again, Brent, I'm actually looking for price even to go slightly lower. But now we are getting into the same structure in there. That's basically where we are approaching in here as well. So similar scenario. Otherwise, price may just want to go slightly higher in there. On gold, I'll talk about 2431. $41.25. Is that where price is right now? Yeah, I mean this level. Yeah, it respected that level in there as well. Maybe it respected that wick in there as well. Yeah, it looks like it's an interesting zone. Yep, it does look like it's an interesting zone where price reacts from. Yeah, but at this point is not the one in twice. Yeah, price already broke that. Like that's not the one. That's not the level now that you want to look for. Yeah. So basically, like I don't really know how do you trade support resistance, how do you look at them. But what you want to look for when you are trading support resistance levels? You want to see structure around it. Like if I have a level of support resistance in here, it's not just because price bounced from it one time or bounced from it another time in here, and then maybe bounce from it again, and then kind of entire, and then kind of bounce again and respecting here. It's not just because price is bouncing here that now price is here and now I think that price is going to react from it again. That doesn't really work like that. Like what you want to see is actually some structure around here, somewhere in there. After when price breaks it, you want to see some structure in there, and price respects. Good, price respect again in here, kind of. Maybe there's a demand zone in there, and now finally price break, and maybe now there's a level in there that price left behind. Like maybe the way price went down in here, it went like this, never touch it, and it moved down. Now you have a support resistance, maybe with some supply level in there, a fresh level. You are looking for price to go there. Now in here, there's maybe something underneath that. If not, just wait maybe for price to break that level again. So if you are looking now at that specific level that you are talking about, there's nothing in here. Right? There was maybe in there, maybe price already reacted from it. It didn't really manage to do anything, just respect this level, and now it's breaking. Right? This is not relevant for you at this point. Right? If you want to look in here, yes, can you see the spice in there? Unfortunately, I'm going to have to change time frame, so let's check this one. Can you see? 5 minutes. Where are we again? Yeah. Right. Can you see in here that you have this structure? We have price pausing, never really reacted from it. So there you go. Like you have literally a small gap in there. You want to see in here? So price goes, breaks it. There's this level. A little bit in alignment. And this one actually went a little bit below that, which then created this new demand zone. Second, let me just zoom out a bit, see where we are again. Yeah, I have that one. So yeah, price ignores, goes, leaves this one behind. Point to have that level still behind. Yep, that looks nice. Price doesn't respect it for me, so it respected on the way up. Then doesn't respect on the way down, so it doesn't respect on the way here. It respects on the opposite side and goes exactly the same way. Like that's more of what you want to see when you're trading this. Yeah. I hope I managed to explain what I meant. Yeah, so it's nice to see price zigzagging in here, but it's not just because price respected that level a few times that if price is again around this level that's going to work. Doesn't really mean anything in here. I want to see some structure around it. Yeah. That's not a traditional way that people talk about support resistance, but that's actually what you want to look for. That's when then price actually ends up reacting from it. It's actually good to see it being broken, so then you can't respect on the opposite side. It's actually see it being broken, so then you can't respect on the opposite side. Like being broken, then respects on the opposite side. It's actually good to see that. Like again, doesn't respect in here to the downside, so it then comes here and respects to the upside. Like that's actually nice to see. Like in order for this level now to kind of be relevant, it will be kind of maybe if it leaves a demand zone somewhere in there, then price actually maybe can react and go. Like at this point you have no idea if it wants to go down, if it wants to go up or down. Well, that's it, guys. Yeah, I hope it's you can study that. It's which of time what the setup I just mentioned, even on the pound as well. Like you have a level in here that kind of holds, but it's not just because price is in here that now it's kind of working or whatever, but you want to see in here, right? You want to see this level now. You want to see structure, liquidity, you want to see a fresh level in there that price never really respected, and then on the way back. Like that's what you want to see. See more on silver, right? You just saw that one on silver as well. Was it on silver? Don't even know. It was oil. Alright, same structure here. This is the moment. Yeah, it's perfect. Alright, so yeah, that's it. Expect more volatility this week with CPI. Again, in terms of CPI, as I mentioned before, it's going to be really interesting to see if CPI is still going to have the same relevance as it has happening for the last 2-3 years. Because now, basically, the market looks like it entered into a new dynamic after what happened last Monday. In terms of the expectations for the Fed to cut rates, which is one of the biggest clues and catalysts that the market is paying attention to. So that's going to be interesting on Wednesday, if the market's still going to have such a volatility and direction after the CPI, regardless of what the number of CPI is going to be. UK, plenty of news, CPI, unemployment, GDP, retail sales, so a lot of opportunities on the pound pairs, and they are actually in really interesting zones. Indices as well, let it correct a little bit, and then we'll see if more sellers are going to jump in again when you get closer to those levels of support resistance and the supply level, which is similar to the dollar, which is similar to the crypto as well, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah, euro dollar, let's see if it moves a little bit as well, and it's basically what we have. So yeah, do I have a strategy to trade CPI? Yeah, I do. I was quite active trading CPI, especially in 2022 when it was the biggest catalyst, when price was moving a lot. And it was just in one direction, so that was actually good because there was no spike up and down. It was which as soon as CPI comes out, if it is kind of good, maybe just price goes down, like, or the opposite, like whatever. But it was just moving in one direction. There was no spike up and then down. So yeah, I did manage to trade several months in a row CPI data. I was actually quite active in different assets, which was actually great, because those trades actually provided great risk reward. In there, and it's possible to see it. Like if you start noticing there is a big compression on one side, if price is reacting at a good level on the left side, and starts, for example, if price is moving up, for example, if price is basically moving to the upside, starts compressing a lot, there's a really good level somewhere in here that maybe price wants to go, then goes there, maybe fix out that level, and then kind of it's around here. Like if price is around here, you start pricing breaking, yeah, this is definitely a short that you want to look for, and you can target all these in there. Like, so that's exactly what you want to look for around the news events. If price is approaching a good level on the left side, the PI recently, maybe for the last 1 or 2 days, is in compression, price is already breaking lows, we have your direction. And then you look at the correlation. If it's not just one pair, but actually quite a few are also reacting from similar levels on the left side. In alignment, maybe the dollar as well, giving that clue. Yeah, you have your direction, like you can trade it, especially against CPI, as I mentioned, like, because NFP, the problem is sometimes that price goes up and goes down, like maybe fakes out everything in here, you get stopped out and then it goes. But with CPI, price was not doing that. Price literally, as soon as the news comes out, it's just goodbye. It will be just literally moving whatever direction it went, but it was just one direction. So yeah, as soon as you start realizing that it happened one time, it happened 2 times, that you notice, all right, it's just something to pay attention to. And now it's the new, that's why I mentioned the CPI now, right? Because now the CPI is going to be different. We are no longer in that. That was 2022. That's the way price was moving in 2022. 2023, it has been slightly different. It was a little bit more focused on the NFP. CPI actually started to be relevant again, maybe closer to the end of, like, maybe 1 year ago again, like September, October, November, because most of 2023 actually it was a lot on NFP. And now, yes, for the last few months it was CPI again, with NFP also being relevant. But now with this new dynamic, I do think that, because the price, like the market has priced in completely the rate cut in September. Just question mark is how big it's going to be. 25 basis points, 50 basis points, doesn't really matter at this point. And CPI has been it's been moving in the right direction, that unless it's actually something negative, like something really big in terms of either much higher or much lower than expected, I don't really think CPI is going to continue to have such a big relevance in the as news. I think it's going to start losing a bit its relevance, and it may go back a little bit into unemployment, because unemployment actually it was the one that it starts to get weaker, and the market starts being concerned is if the unemployment starts to get weaker and the unemployment number starts to increase. That's maybe where the focus of the market may be in terms of macro. If this acceleration in the unemployment it starts happening too fast or not, that's a concern. You can explain just a little bit the way the market moves. Hit my stop loss. Yeah, that's news, right? That's news. You can be freaked out. You can be freaked out. You like to trade news, especially if you want to really to trade before the news. You want to make sure that you are in a good level. That price is reacting from a good level on the left side. You want to make sure of that first of all. A level that actually is relevant, and you could see, okay, price doesn't really need to. Imagine that you want to short. You just can see that price doesn't really need to make a new high to move down. Like, and there is maybe already breaks of lows. There's maybe already kind of some liquidity being collected in there. So we want to at least look for that. Of course, price may still want to make one last account. Who knows, right? That, like, we don't really never know. In there, if it makes, it makes. But at least if you do have that initial approach and analysis correctly done, that's perfect. Secondly, I do like to enter 30 minutes before the news, like maximum 15 minutes before the news, because I want to see already the first move to downside. Again, pretending that we are shorting, I want to see already that first initial move, because that tends to happen. So if price actually may want to move down with the news, even before actually the news, maybe like 20 minutes before, something like that, pretending that it's already reacting from the good level on the left side. Some sellers starting to already jump into here. Sometimes you have actually a quick move down, and then basically price comes back still at the highs again. But this initial first move down may be enough to take some profits, right? To at least take some position out, and you are safe straight away. Then you are not even like, even if you get stopped out, like whatever profit already made, it's already covered that stop loss. So then it's literally kind of a risk-free trade at this point. As long as you don't really get much slippage, that's maybe the issue as well. But yeah, that's news. Yeah. All right, Bongani. Thanks again. Tomorrow, we go with the pre-market analysis. So good luck for beginning of this week. And we'll see what's going to happen. Alright, man. Thanks. I'll see you guys. Enjoy your weekend. Bye bye. I'll see you next time.